Hi, my name is Pragti. I go to Monte Vista High School, and this is my third milestone. So my original project was the smart glasses, but then I started adding more modifications to it, and it kind of deviated from the original project to becoming a book detection slash recommendation feature. So what my idea was that I could take a picture of a book cover, it would detect the text, then it will use an API. In this case, I use the Google Books API to get the information about it and then present that information and then have another feature to present recommendations based on the book that you took a picture of. And there were a bunch of other features that I wanted to include that I haven't done so yet. So what I first started doing was that I was doing my own OCR and trying to like like play around with filters in order to get the right text. But that didn't quite work and I didn't want to spend as much time on that. So I decided to use an API instead to detect the text. So I first started using an OCR.space API, and that worked so much better. But there was also some bad sides with it as well. It wouldn't be able to detect the text all the time. So I decided to switch to Gemini, and I was able to use a free API for Gemini in order to do OCR. So I basically used this PyCam. I got a new PyCam that has a better resolution and also better autofocus in order to detect, to see the text more clearly, because my other camera was also very, very blurry. So that gets rid of some problems. So I was able to use that camera to take a picture of my phone screen that has the book cover because I'm not bringing in books right now. And then the Gemini API was able to detect the text. Then I was able to take the text and put it into Google Books. And Google Books was able to list out 5 books that the book detected could be, because maybe I didn't take the picture so well and it only got the author. It was able to generate 5 books, and maybe out of those 5 books, it will get The Great Gatsby. And then, or maybe it just detected the text wrong. Like, that's why I just said detect 5, give me 5 books it could be. And then I used the Gemini API again to give me 5 recommendations based on this book again. So let me demonstrate that. Real quick. Again, I'm going to be using the Great Gatsby book cover, and I'm going to be using my Pi camera to take a picture. So I'm going to run the code now. Okay, great. Um, Again, I didn't take the best picture. This was the picture that was taken with my camera, and you can see in the terminal there's a bunch of text. You won't be able to read that, so let me read it out loud. Um, so the first thing that comes up is the text detected. It said The Great Gatsby. So it was able to pick up the title even though it is such a bad picture. And then it gave me 5 results. The first one was The Great Gatsby by Scott Fitzgerald, which is the one we wanted. And all 5 results have the same title. So it worked. Then the recommendations are, I don't want to read this out actually. Maybe just look at it. And it gives an explanation beneath it because, again, this is Gemini. I didn't ask it to get rid of any of the explanations. I just told it to give me the recommendations. So this is straight copy and paste from the chat. So um, that is what happened in the beginning. Then I decided after doing this that I wanted to implement this into a website slash app that I can use instead my computer camera or my phone camera to take a picture of the book instead of just carrying this around or on my glasses to take pictures, because it's much more easier to take your devices with you because you always have them on you. And also it gives you an interface to see all this information instead of seeing it on terminals. So I started Hmm, let me pull it up. So I used Streamlit. And Streamlit basically allows me to build my website by using Python instead of HTML. And it's much more easier for me to make my website. So I will demonstrate it, then explain what I did. Um, oh, right. Give me a minute. Okay, so it's gonna take a little bit of time to work, but right now it's just running. Um, I'll let it load. Right now it's taking a lot of time to just load my website, be able to take a picture. Oh wait, it loaded. Good. But maybe later on I will switch, instead of like running it on my Raspberry Pi, I'll switch to running it on my computer so that hopefully it runs faster. But I'm gonna quickly take a picture. So can you see it? Mhm. So I will click take picture, and then it'll ask for permission to use my computer camera, and I can hold up the book to my computer and then say take a photo. And so it will load everything underneath. First, it'll say what's the title and the author detected. Sometimes, even if the author is not detected, Gemini will autofill it because, again, it has all the background information. Um, then it will give you an option to select what book it could be because, again, sometimes it doesn't pick the right book. Um, so I could select whatever book it could be. And I gave 15 options, like the 15 top options from Google Books. And then there is what other actions you want to do. So right now I'm on show details and it shows all the book details. This is from Google Books. So it gives you the title, the author, publisher, and then um when it wait, and then the published date, and then the description, the rating. Sometimes it will show up that there are no ratings, but if you select another book, there will be a bunch of ratings on that. So it all depends. That's why I gave the option to switch what book you're on. Then there's the list price and the total price. This is being shown as unknown because either A, Google Books like doesn't have it put up for sale or some other reason. Um, yeah. Then there's other actions like other recommendations. So my book recommendation feature was dependent on Gemini, but I didn't want to rely on Gemini for everything, so I decided to create my own. So I got a Goodreads database from like 2018, so it's really outdated, so it doesn't have all the books on it. But I was able to first find the book in the database, look at the tags. What are tags? Tags are a column in this database that shows what type of book is this? Is it a horror? Is it a mystery? It has a bunch of tags associated with this book. So what it does is that it gets the tags and it gets the ID of the book, and then it gives it to another method, which basically looks through all the books and compares the tags. So it's basically seeing how many tags are in common, and based on that it gives it a score, and then it sees which books have like the highest score, and it takes the 5 top ones and basically uses that for the recommendations. So for The Great Gatsby, these are the top 5 recommendations. And I also wanted to add another feature that would show like, is this book part of a series and what other books you should read for it. And I do have this feature. um, uh, I do have this feature, but it's reliant on Gemini once again. But with this the same book recommendation thing that I have right now, it already automatically puts the other books in the series as recommendations because if you look at the tags for all the books in the series, they're going to be the most similar. So if I were to put Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, it will give me all the other books in the series. Um, so I guess I don't have to build anything else for the series detector. So that is basically what I've done so far. Some challenges that I faced with this is first finding the right API because like Gemini, I used up all the quota of the free one, so we had to go pay for the free tier and use that one. So that's one challenge that I faced for this. Then the other thing is that I came across a lot of errors with this website. Basically, um, it was just a lot of trial and error with what would work, what wouldn't. Then recently, just now, I was dealing with this website being way too slow. So that was solved by using caching. So I was able to store like the big things that I was doing so that instead of redoing that each time that I wanted to take a picture, it just stored it right in the beginning. So all that happens is that whenever I load the website, it just takes a long time to load. So the next steps that I want to take with this is adding a price feature that would actually be reliant because from Google Books, it doesn't always have the price. So I want to first get the price from multiple stores, compare those prices. Then the second feature I want to work on is taking a picture of another book and then like comparing those two books based on price, based on genre, based on all those things. So those are the two steps that I want to take with this. Thank you.